Hello everybody, Sir Leon here and welcome to another mathematics video. In this video we are looking at the beautiful topic profit and loss. And at the end of this video you should be able to do a few things. One, you should be able to find profit and loss, and also you should be able to find profit percentage and loss percentage. So let's head straight into this video by first of all learning what exactly do we mean by profit and what do we mean by loss and all the other concepts surrounding these two topics. So the first things first, the cost price. Now most times you see the cost price in the formula, we have it as CP. So the cost price is the price at which the item is bought. So if I go to the store and I buy a bicycle for $5,000, then the cost price would be $5,000. That is the price that I paid for the bicycle. And the next thing would be the selling price. So the selling price would be the price at which an item is sold back for. So if I buy a bicycle for $5,000 and then I go and sell it back to my cousin for $10,000, then the $10,000 would be the selling price. That is the price that I will sell back the item for. And then the profit of course would be the extra money that you gain after you sell an item, and the loss would be the amount that you lose out when you sell an item. Alright, those are the basic concepts as relates to profit and loss. So let's look at this little equation that I have on the screen. So of course, if the selling price is greater than the cost price, and that means you gain a profit. And if the selling price is less than the cost price, that means you gain a loss. You occurred a loss. A loss has occurred. Alright? So let's head straight into an example, but first let's look at how do we calculate profit and loss percentage. So profit percentage would be the profit over the cost price. The cost price is the original cost of the item, the original price that you bought the item for, the price that somebody buys an item for, that is the cost price, or the price that a retailer buys an item for. So it's profit over the cost price multiplied by 100. And the loss percentage would be loss over the cost price multiplied by 100. It's always over the cost price, which is the first price that the item was bought for. It's always over that and not the selling price. It's over what you started off with. So let's head into our first example. So this example says, a retailer buys a phone for $200 and sells it for $250. Find the profit and profit percentage. So first things first, let's find the profit. So the profit is basically the selling price minus the cost price. So the selling price here would be the $250. And the cost price would be the price that the item was bought for, which is $200. So $250 minus $200. And when we work this out, we see the retailer will gain a profit of $50. So the retailer gains a profit of $50. Now the next thing we want to find is the profit percentage. So profit percentage is, as we learned just now, profit percentage is the profit gained, which is $50 in this case. So let me put in the formula. So it's the profit over the cost price multiplied by 100. So we see the profit gain is $50 in this case over the cost price, which is the price that the item was bought for, in this case, which was 200, multiplied by 100. So we can do some cancelling out. This will cancel out with that. This will cancel out with that. And 2 ones, 2 into 50, 25. So we see 25 times 1 would give us 25%. So the profit percentage gain was 25% after the man or the retailer made a profit of $50. Example 2. So this example says, a shop buys a refrigerator for $500 and sells it for $450. Determine the loss and the loss percentage. So probably something went wrong with the refrigerator and decided to sell it back at a lower price that they paid for it. So that means a loss occurred. So let's find the loss first of all. So we know loss is equal to, so the cost price in this case, which is $500, that is the original cost for the item. So it's $500 subtract the selling price, the price that it was sold for, in this case $450. So we see the loss here would be once again $50 as well. So the shop owner, he accrued a loss of $50. So now let's find the loss percentage. So loss percentage, similar to profit percentage. So loss percentage would be the loss over the cost price multiplied by 100. So the loss was 50 over the cost price. The cost price, we saw that the shop owner bought the refrigerator for 500. So this will be 50 over 500 multiplied by $100. So this will cancel out with that 0. 5 ones 5, 5 into 50, 10. So we have 100 divided by 10 would give us, this will cancel out with that, 10%. So we see a loss of 10% occurred. And that is how you find loss percentage, and that is how you find profit percentage. So now let's look at another question. So this question says, if a bicycle is bought for $150 and sold for $200, find one, the profit and the profit percentage. So this example is to reinforce what we just did. So this one is similar to the ones that we previously did. So you can probably try this one on your own and see if you'll get the same answer as I will get in 3 seconds. So let's go. So a bicycle is bought for $150. So this has to be probably in US, because you know no bicycle in Guyana you will be seeing sold for $150, and it's sold for $200. So the first things first, let's find the profit. So we see the profit will be the price that it was sold for, which is $200, subtract the price that it was bought for, which is $150. So the profit will be 200 minus 150 will be 50. So a key thing to note, when you want to find either profit or loss, all you do is you find the difference between the number. You subtract, you put the large number first and you subtract the smaller number from it. And that is all. And of course, if the selling price is more than the cost price, that means you gain the profit. And if the selling price is less than the cost price, then that means a loss happened there. So this is the profit, $50. So you want to find profit percentage. So profit percentage will be the profit over the cost price multiplied by 100. So the profit will be $50 over the cost price, which is, we saw that the cost price in this case was $150 multiplied by 100. So you see this 0 cancels out with that 0. 5 ones 5. 5 into 15, 3. So now we have 100 divided by 3, which will give us, we work this out, we'll get approximately 33.3%. So the profit gain would be 33.3%. And that is how you calculate the profit percentage for this question. Now let's wrap up with this final question that will be slightly different from the ones that we did just now. So this question says, a store purchases 30 calculators at $15 each. The store sells each calculator for $20. A, calculate the total cost price for all calculators. So they want the total cost price. So the total price that the calculators were initially bought for, they want the total of that. So first of all, we see that the store purchased 30 calculators at $15 each. So the total cost price for the calculators would be will be 30 multiplied by $15. So we multiply 30 multiplied by $15 would give us $450. The next thing they want, calculate the total selling price for all calculators. So now they want the total selling price. So the total selling price would be the 30 calculators now multiplied by the $20. And this will give us a total price of 326. So this will be $600. And last but not least, they ask us to determine the total profit and the profit percentage. So let's find the profit. So the total profit would be the $600 subtract the $450. And this will give us a total profit of $150. As I said, the key thing to note, you just put the big number for us and you subtract the smaller number from it. So this is 600 minus 450. So this is the total profit that the store made over all the calculators, all 30 calculators. Next thing they want us to calculate the total profit percentage. So you can call this part A, let's call this part 1, let's call this part 2. So profit percentage now would be the profit over the cost price multiplied by 100. So the profit would be 150 over the cost price. The total cost price was 450 multiplied by 100. So you see this 0 cancels with that 0. 15 ones 15, 15 into 45, 3. So now we have 100 divided by 3 again, which will give us a total profit percentage of 33.3%. And that would be our answer for this question. And with that, this has brought us to the end of this video. I trust that you now have a solid understanding of how to calculate profit, loss, profit percentage, and loss percentage. Remember, all you need to do is subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. And of course, if the selling price is more than the cost price, then you gain the profit. And if the selling price is less than what you bought it for, which is the cost price, a loss occurred. And then to find the profit percentage, it's profit over the cost price. It's always over the cost price multiplied by 100. And for loss percentage, it's loss over the cost price multiplied by 100. Remember, the cost price is the item that you bought it for at first. Selling price is what you sell it back for. So with that, I'll see you until the next video.